We are all in a hurry at times to climb the corporate ladders, and as we go down that path, we also take career switches very, very quickly. And I think for any career to build on the long term, one has to create stability at each level, right? So you need to spend 2-3 years in each ecosystem and not 6 months and 1 year.
So my next few questions are about some personal reflections, Vishal. What are some of the most key important lessons that you have learned in your career spanning 3 decades? What would be one advice that you would give to your younger self, or probably younger people in the audience watching the show?
Yeah, I think the most important one is consistency, right? We are all in a hurry at times to climb the corporate ladders, and as we go down that path, we also take career switches very, very quickly. And I think for any career to build on the long term, one has to create stability at each level, right? So you need to spend 2-3 years in each ecosystem and not 6 months and 1 year. I think that is one. Second, healthcare is a long game, right? It is for all the younger managers, even today, who want to be in the healthcare ecosystem. It's a complex sector. It's a sector which is driven, as I was saying right in the beginning, hierarchies on one side, change on the other, technology now becoming a big play. So the ability to drive changes in this sector also happens in its own pace. While today it's much better than what it used to be in the past. So a lot of frustration begins to get built by the younger generation, because they want to come in and they see all the tech companies doing it all the time. They see the automobile companies do it all the time, and then they say, oh, why doesn't change happen here so quickly? And that's basically because how the ecosystem is developed. So one has to have that patience, and one has to have the focus. Lastly, I think the good thing is that back in my world, capital was not available.
Yeah.
And therefore, the ideation of all the new things that we needed to do behind our healthcare enterprises got limited to a very large extent, because, the companies were, either taking debt or they were putting equity in, but we didn't have the opportunity to get investors in, dilute a lot of equity, and therefore build the system very quickly. That opportunity exists today. But for that, one has to have the financial acumen to be able to, and the learnings that come along with the financial side of the work. So I think there are a ton of learnings as far as healthcare is concerned. And I think more importantly, the leadership style and the execution style, one has to carry teams along. One has to build super powerful teams. One has to have the appreciation for management talent, which in the past this industry actually never really had. So even if today when you see, and that's where I believe the biggest opportunity sits, this was an industry where professional managers were very few, right? And most of the industry was run by families. And so therefore, you hardly got talent out. Today, with the investors coming at the forefront, there is a lot of opportunity of this ecosystem evolving, and a lot of need for good management talent. And I think therefore, the setting is now good for the new generation to come in and make healthcare as their profession of choice, which unfortunately in the past was not. Yeah. So there is a transition which has happened on the back of how the industry is changing. And I think so for the next generation, we are putting together an ecosystem where they can be very, very successful.
Yeah, in this time and age, I think good ideas, good intent, good team will always find capital.
Will always find. So capital is not an issue anymore. I think, and so therefore consistency is what one is looking for. The ability to execute fast, the ability to also absorb from other industries and create a much better ecosystem. So I think that's truly what I would recommend to all the younger people who are wanting to get into healthcare, that there is no better time than now to be in the world of healthcare.
Sure.